My name is CeCe from CeCe ReStyled, and I'm a furniture artist. Maybe. Yep. Okay, I'm going to show you my process using the terrazzo tile stencil from Royal Design Studio. It's a large stencil that you can use to make a terrazzo tile pattern on your floor, wall, anything, any surface. So our concrete patio floor is 2 coats of epoxy seal rolled on, given 48 hours to dry, and now we're going to make our terrazzo pattern out of paint onto the surface. It's clean from debris, it's been brushed, and broomed, and no dirt. Nice clean surface. And I've taken my paint color, which is going to be like a putty type cream color with a tint of yellow, and I've watered it down quite a bit. I diluted it maybe about 3/4 water and 1/4 of paint so that it'll fit through the sprayer bottle. I just wanted a cheap sprayer bottle, but this is the only one I had. I want to get droplets in the background to recreate that terrazzo look. You can see smaller droplets or pebble chip type shapes in the background. So we're going to use the sprayer with our diluted paint to make that background pattern first and let that dry. This sprayer creates decent sized droplets, kind of varying sizes. We've got some big fatter ones and some smaller splatters. We just want it to look like the chips in the terrazzo. Okay, so here's what we're going to need to have to create our pattern. We're going to keep handy our paint colors. I'm using an acrylic, a high quality acrylic paint for DIY. It's paint sure. Okay, got the colors that I need. Royal Design Studio provided me these super cute little stencil brushes. I'll need those for the little details on the pebbles. I like to use these for my foam rollers, my 4-inch foam rollers, because you can roll it out, put the lid on it, and the paint doesn't dry up quickly, and then if you need to use it again later, and then you can just throw them away. See, they fit perfect, just like that. Boom. 4-inch rollers with the foam cover, foam. And I got a couple extra stencil brushes just in case, and some tape, and then paper plates and bowls for dry brushing. So shop towel, of course, though. Keep all those handy. This is the stencil from Royal Design Studios. They so kindly provided me to do this terrazzo pattern on the porch floor. It is called terrazzo stencil, and it's pretty large. It's a nice size for walls, floors, etc. And they even conveniently put a little smaller version that you can use to get closer to the ceiling or edges where you would normally have that bling spot. So that's a nice little bonus. So this is the terrazzo tile stencil from the Royal Design Studio. As you can see, it is a terrazzo pattern. It does line up, so you can tile it on the left and right side. So up and down it lines up just like that. See those little shapes they line up. So I'm going to line it up. I like to tape it in place a couple of different spots just to hold it, keep it from sliding out when painting it. Make sure your surface is fairly or clean of debris and dirt, especially on a patio. Okay, make sure that's free. Starting by rolling a cream color in the background. I'm using a foam roller. I find that those are a little cleaner and sharper edged than the other types of knit nap rollers. So foam roller. And I'm just giving it a light coat of this cream color in the background. What this does is it lays down like a brighter backdrop for my colors that I'm going to layer on top. Also, it brings a warm cream color to the entire floor and kind of makes the colors all gel together. It doesn't have to be perfectly filled in, and I like to have some spots a little brighter and some more transparent than others. The more variation you have in a stencil, the more realistic and the more depth you're going to have in your paint job. My roller's seen better days, but it's been a long project. Long going project. You don't need much. Just get it squeezed up in the roller. Our next color is this mustardy yellow type color, and I've got a big fat round stencil type brush. It's probably about 2 or 3 inches round, and you just want to get your color, which in this case is the mustard yellow. You want to give it a good circular motion. Get that paint loaded all up in that brush. Not quite a dry brush, but you don't want your brush dripping. So I'm going to pick some random spots to try to start making some areas of this golden mustard yellow color. Fill in some little patches here and there. I'm going to fill in some of the rock solid yellow, and then some of them I just kind of give them a light brushing over. What happens when you fill in some solid and some more transparent, you'll get more variation in color and it looks more dimensional. Dimension is good. Our next color is this light heather blue or country blue type color, slate blue, like a light slate blue. Same brush but smaller. stencil brush, round, big fat. And the same thing, you want to load it up in the brush. Doesn't need to be dripping wet, but you need paint in there, right? Load it up in there. Same thing with this color. We're going to fill in some of the stones or pebbles, pebble shapes, like solid here and there. Pounce, 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 pounce. And then once you got some areas filled in solid, then you can just kind of go through and dry brush some areas with some big round circular strokes to blend those back. And then okay. Next, using Royal Design Studios stencil brushes in two different sizes, small but one slightly larger. I'm going to use a charcoal gray and then that same blue we just used. Load up my brush. I'm going to pick a few pebbles here and there to shade, okay, so they'll have some more dimension. So let's see, let's pick this one. You want to pounce, okay, pounce your stencils so they're crisp. Okay, then I'm going to take a little tiny bit of the charcoal color, create a shadow along one edge of the little pebble. My other brush with the blue and blend it a little bit. You can stipple at it like this, or you can just brush it to blend it, whichever you think is working best for you. Sometimes the stipple makes a nice little texture look, but look just like pebbles. So let's do a couple more. Try to do them randomly throughout the pattern, okay? Just not too patterny. Random. Okay. Let's do this one too. Over here, these you can do as many or as little of these little shadowy pebbles as you like, or whatever color you like. And then, let's do a few more, shall we? How about we come over here? These. One more here. Next color is this very light blue, almost grayish white, but it's blue, barely blue. We'll just call it that. And I want to fill in some solid little stones. Pick some solid areas. That looks like a winner. These guys look good. Random. That's the word of the day. Random is the word of the day. After we've got some random ones filled in pretty solid, then we can lightly take our brush with that same color and kind of dry brush over different spots of it, just to kind of blend all those colors in together a little bit. Give them all a common denominator. Dry brushing every which way, creating dimension with the different layers of color, and random. Never be afraid to use your finger. Okay, now the fun part. You pull your stencil up and away. And there she is.